Hey guys, this is Jeff at Hubie's Garage, and hey, yeah, we're in the state of Montana right now, so just thought I'd come out and visit something that I don't always get to see, something from the channel. We got the beautiful Mission Mountains behind us here. It's one of the most picturesque valleys out here in Montana. This is one of the places that you'll see a lot of pictures of barns, old barns that are standing, and they do paintings and all that kind of stuff. But we also have another old relic out here that's rarely seen on the channel, and want to go ahead and show it to you. All right, guys. Well, there it is in all its glory. This is the 55 210 four-door sedan that came with the Delray when I came up to Kalispell to buy the Delray. This was the four-door that came along with the car, and I never really got a good close chance to look it over. I just know that it was fairly complete because we had a full front end for it that was actually for the Delray that was pretty close to the same sea mist green, or seafoam green, sea mist green. And it might have had some harbor blue, larkspur blue fender or hood or something like that, but I'm not going to use that on the Delray. I'm going to use it on the four-door, and that'll complete everything. So I have the grill, I have the front apron, I have bumpers, all the stuff needed to put this car together. I know the cylinder head is in the back seat because I think this was one of the classic issues of the 235 blew a head gasket. Somebody pulled the cylinder head off and never put the cylinder head back on. There's some hood springs that I set there, but you could see it's basically filled up with water and the pistons are welded to the block. So I know this is an A2755 block, and you know, I might pull this one apart, try to rebuild it, but got a little something extra later on in the channel to show you. This was the Oakland car. It is an original 586 paint, and one of the things that's real unusual about it is the 586 on the firewall. So obviously that was a factory inscription from the assembly line. I don't know where the Neptune green roof came from, but you know, I don't know if this was originally a one-tone. It did not have a paint divider on it, so, but this is it. It's at my brother-in-law's house, and he's been kind enough to store it here for me. And you know, let's open this thing up and take a look at it, because I haven't seen it. I've spent probably a whole 10 minutes looking at it in the snow, and yeah, that was probably pretty much it. So I know we got a damaged front frame horn, so it looks like it may need a front frame horn replaced. This one's not too bad, but it does look like it was hit pretty hard and bent up. So maybe I'll see if I could find somebody that cut the front of these off of a stock frame to build a gasser, put a straight axle, something. Maybe I'll see if I could find a frame horn from that. I noticed the column does have all the linkage for the original 3 on the tree, and it looks like the 3-speed transmission is back there. I do not know if it's an overdrive. I know that there was a device that's on the firewall, and I don't know if that was, I'm not real positive. Maybe some of you overdrive guys will know for sure. I know you could see it in the car, but that is one of the possibilities for this car, is to put the 235 back together, fully rebuilt, and put a 3-speed overdrive in it, a 3 on the tree, because I've never owned a 3 on the tree car, and it would be nice to own one. You could see from the original video, we had the original 210 door trim that somehow, some way managed to survive the trip from up in Kalispell and stayed on the car. So all the trim pieces are here. Gosh, even the back window is there with the original clip. It just gonna need to be pulled out and sanded, and that's some moss or something. Obviously the windows are broke. This does appear to be, well, I'm not gonna say it's an original Easy Eye car, but the back window here's got Easy Eye. That one's standard clear glass, and this one's got standard clear glass also. But like somebody left a comb in there. But let's take a peek. Okay, now it looks like the door panels are missing and some of the door covers. It's like a gas tank strap on the floor. I'm sure everything in here is rotten. It's very, very spongy. I know one of the door sills was bad, but I know it does have the original interior in it. Looks like there's some sun visors. Looks like a couple of engine parts. I don't see, oh my gosh. Well, guess what, guys? Two things. Extremely lucky here. First, we got an overdrive. So wow, wow, wow. That's awesome. Number two, I got keys. Looks like the dash is still intact, the heater, everything's still in place. It's got a Bel Air, which I know it's not a Bel Air, it's a 210. Looks like we're missing the ashtray and the glove box door. Somebody put an oil pressure gauge in it, so that was an add-on. And it looks like it's got 58,398 on it, so probably more than likely 158. But I don't know, I mean the interior, other than just wear and tear, the original material is there. And I don't know if this is a seat cover covering up old material, I'm not real sure. But definitely has a 4-door front seat. It's not a split fold down. There's the cylinder head. Looks like we're missing some door panels there. I also notice that it's got two sets of back seats. So it's got the front seat with the ashtray missing in the back of the seat. It's got a lower back seat and a lower already in it. It's got the backing seat and another backing seat. So I don't know, this doesn't look like it came from the Delray. The headliner's more than likely original, but it's got, you know, it looks like the garnish moldings are gone. So I don't know. Oh, you know what? So I got keys. Let's see if this trunk might work. Hopefully a body or something doesn't pop out at me. I'm going to take a shot and think it's, if I remember right, the original key is the one with that extra hole in it. Because it does have a tumbler in it. Needs some graphite, that's for sure. Oh, it's turning. Okay, so let's see what we got. I have no idea. Like I say, hopefully not a body. Holy cow, look at that. I see a missing taillight lens. That's right there. This is more than likely the culprit of what killed the 6-cylinder, because it's got the push rods, it's got the phenolic spacer plate for the carburetor, it's got the intake manifold, it's got the old oil canister, it's got an oil tube, got some spark plug wires, it's got the starter. Geez, it even has some of the original jack instructions. Looks like it's got a couple of wasp nests in here. It's even got a snow tire. Because this car originally did come from Spokane. But you could see, originality-wise, it's all still here. This is all sea mist green. And, you know, just a lot of various little parts. Be nice to find the carburetor and maybe the exhaust. I'll have to take a look. I don't think the exhaust was up there. But, you know, the bumper guard's knocked around a little bit. Oh, it does have a AAA emblem on it, which says Inland. I don't know where Inland could possibly be. Typically, these things were geographic, these AAAs. And like I say, I do know the car came from Spokane, because the Delray came from Spokane. They both were from the same owners. I know it shouldn't have V8 scripts on it because this is an original 6-cylinder car. This was a B55. It wasn't a VB55 or anything like that. There could be stuff down in the wheel well, but like I say, just the canister, the oil canister, the intake, push rods, probably a blown head gasket, a starter, an oil breather tube, a couple of spark plug wires, and the taillight lens. So awesome. Okay, we'll put this thing back, and boy, shuts real nice. Let's pop open the doors. You know, these doors are real solid. They shut real nice. I don't know if there's going to be any critters. You know, just the cylinder head in the back seat. Let's see if I can... There's something down there. I'm not sure what that is on the other end. A lot of stuffing that probably made rat's nest material. Sills don't actually look bad here. Obviously broken glass. Another easy eye. So both the back doors have easy eye, but everything else has got clear glass. Yep, clear glass on the... I don't know how the back door would end up with easy eye. Oh, there we go. Okay. Another door that opens up real nice, by the way. Solid door. But we got a windowed door sill. So this is part of what I want to do as far as getting this car ready, or doing the work on this car with future welding and stuff like that. I want to do that myself. So okay, so move the seat out of the way. It looks like we got one of the door hole covers. Got an original fan blade. Got more upper windshield trim. So there's two of them. Let's see, here's a March 2012. Yeah, March 2012, so that was probably the last time somebody was in this thing. An auto clipper. And of course, Spokane, Washington. So yeah, that was probably the last time somebody was in this car. Got the visors, got all the window trim. It does missing the door, the door skins, as well as the garnish moldings. At least the garnish moldings for the doors, because they do have the garnish moldings for the back fort of the small triangle windows. Yeah, obviously, well, I didn't look at the cylinder head. Let's see. Yeah, you know, all these doors, super solid, fit real nice. Okay, so I don't really see anything on the cylinder head. You know, the cylinder head was just kind of, oh, that's going to be real heavy. I don't know, there was another item that's under here, under the seat. Oh, okay, it's the coil and the voltage regulator and the horn regulator. So, oh man, the trim finally came off. Funny, it survived an 80-mile trip from Kalispell down here, but slammed the door once and the trim finally falls off. I am so glad it didn't fall off on the trailer ride down here. Wow. Well, I tell you guys, the VIN number lines up with everything. I got to get a better picture of that. Looks like somebody put a late or a mid-70s Camaro steering wheel on it. I am so thrilled that this car has an overdrive. I'll have to look and see if the overdrive is underneath. I don't know if somebody put the glove box door and the ashtray underneath the seat. But this is definitely a builder. You know, I know the floor is not going to be perfect. I'm expecting to put rockers, full rockers in this, and a full floor. I probably should pop the trunk open a little more, look at the floor, but I think it had oil on it, so that might have might have protected it. So yeah, you know, body wise the car is in pretty nice shape. There's really, everything's pretty straight, pretty much there. Looks like it had a trailer hitch on it at one time. Let's take a quick look. I didn't get a real close look. Now there was a lot of oil on the floor, and it looks like the trunk is in pretty good shape. I'm sure the wheel wells probably, you know what, let's just see if we can get this thing out. Yeah, it's not bad. Nothing in there in the bottom, but not bad at all. Original 55 wheel. There's the, looks like it's got the rivets in it. So yeah, the floor looks in really good shape. I don't see any old damage. I got the original seam sealer, so it doesn't look like it's really been hit. Maybe there might have been a little bit of rust right there that somebody tried to primer over, but all the seam sealer is all intact. It's not bent, it's not moved, cut back. Rear apron looks clean. This thing might clean up really nice. And the thing that's interesting about this car is with the gasser being the same exact color, the historical gasser, this is also a seafoam green or sea mist green car. This might be an interesting tow vehicle that would match the sea mist green on the historical gasser, make a nice tow vehicle. Now this is kind of cool. Here's an oil change at 31,000. It's all Texaco. Looks like it was all serviced at the same place, but it doesn't say. I'll just have to look closer at it, but I don't see any addresses or anything like that. Like I say, there's really no evidence that says otherwise from that it wasn't from Spokane, because everything that the guy I bought it from said Spokane. It's got Spokane newspapers in it, and you know, snow tires, all that kind of stuff. It'll be fun to get this 235 apart, and I really should somehow, I don't know what kind of critters are under here. We did a lot of lawn mowing today. Let's see. I don't know. Typically the overdrive's on the end of it. I know it doesn't have a drive shaft in it. It can't. We'll just have to, I can't really see what I'm filming, but we'll see if that works. But yeah, looks like everything was undercoated also. So yeah, that's it. So haven't really figured out, other than this is going to be a test bed for all of the welding that we want to do. I'm going to do my own floor, my own door jamb or door sills on this one. We'll try to keep it as original as possible. It's really cool to see that 586 written in there by the factory. It went down the assembly line. You know, that was the color, and it's still that color. Body's straight, doors fit real nice. I'm not a big four-door guy. I really didn't want this car when it came with the Delray, but I've had a few guys that have gotten four doors. I've come up with a couple of ideas of what to do with this one. I'm not sure what happened here, but somebody put a side marker light on here, and I didn't even see if that one actually had a bulb in it. I don't think it did. I think it's just a screw-on reflector. Okay, so the gas tank's taken out of it and the filler neck's out of it. So, like I say, this thing's about 95% complete, you know, because I do have all the front end sheet metal. It just needs gas tank straps, filler neck. It needs a carburetor, an intake manifold. Well, actually I got the intake manifold. It needs an exhaust manifold I think the starter was in the trunk. Interior's all there. I mean, it's all there. Definitely restorable. I'd love to paint this one myself, because it has been a while since I painted a car. I think I haven't painted a car since the late 80s. My dad and I painted our 66 Volkswagen Bug. This would be a good one to learn on, or to relearn on. But yeah, this thing's it's a prime candidate. Well, that's basically it, guys. So you've now seen the car up close and up front, just like I have for the first time. And you know, put it in the comments. You know, this is there's a few channels that are starting to turn up some four doors. Four doors are getting a little bit more popular. You know, crew cabs, more doors, whatever you want to call them. To me, they were always old lady cars. You know, I know that's probably not politically correct, but you know, they weren't hot rods. You know, and now as I'm a little bit older, and the Tri-5s are getting harder to find these days, and four doors are more plentiful. Typically, back in the day, they were parts cars. But you know, every once in a while, you find a nice, decent one that's certainly a builder, and this is definitely one of them. You know, it's really not in that bad a shape. I'll just swap it out, put some green glass in it. You know, and anyway, you tell me what you think. Put it together as is, patina and all. Just get it running, drivable, or you know, full restoration. You know, where it's basically the test bed for everything, as far as, you know, all the welding that we're going to learn. And you know, it'll be the first floor that I put in, the first door sills or door rockers that I put in. I guess you know, watching DD Speed Shop, it seemed like the four-door rockers were easier to do than the two-door. So you know, we could do all that stuff and, you know, go through it, learn it together type kind of a deal. You know, even paint the car myself, because it's been a while, and I haven't used any high volume, low pressure guns, and I haven't used any of the base coat clear coats. I old school and had the old DeVilbiss, you know, high pressure guns with the reservoir on the bottom instead of on the top. I guess the hoppers that they have now on the guns. But yeah, put your thoughts down. What do you think I should do with it? I'll respond to them all. So one last thing, I will show you kind of a crazy Ivan, and let me it won't end here. I got one more segment to show that involves the four-door, so hold on a sec. Okay guys, one more sidebar. Yeah, how in the world did I end up with one of these in the back of my truck while on a vacation? And even more so, I think I'm probably going to have to go get my head examined after coming home with one of these, because I swore on my life that I would never own one ever again. I've owned two in the past, and that was 4 too many. Luckily, the issue with this one was it was guaranteed to have all of the fluid out of it. I think this thing was rated at about 100 or 820 pounds. Well, I think without all the fluid in it, it's about 615 pounds. So it's obviously a boat anchor. It's not going anywhere other than if I could be lucky enough to find somebody that wants to pay 50 bucks for it, or scrap it. Cast iron power glides are just not worth anything. They don't shift well. I just have never been a fan. Somebody that's a purist that's doing a full restoration, yeah, maybe they might want it. You know, I'd be glad to send it down the road and get that to somebody. Let me know, but you'd have to come get it. So, walking out the door, I casually mentioned, boy, I've got a 55 four-door that's got a frozen 235 in it. It'd be nice to find another 235 in case I decide to go gas mileage cruiser and buy or put a 235-6 back in it and put a 3-speed overdrive in it. 3 on the tree, all that. Well, the guy with the Pontiac rear axle says, oh, gee, lo and behold, I've got a 6-cylinder, a 235 that came out of a 56 Chevy. So this one looks like it's got an H22.6. So the other one was an A27.5 in the 4-door. Here he's got a weight on the whole setup. 250 pounds of this is the transmission. Believe it or not, this is the heaviest Tri-5 driveline from 55 to 57. A cast iron power glide with a 235 inline 6. That was the heaviest setup. Now I really didn't want this. I didn't have the room for it, but the guy offered the whole entire setup, and I mean, it turns over, it's complete. He said I absolutely happen to have the carburetor and the air cleaner, the starter, all the things that he was going to pull off and sell somewhere else. Had that, and I'll throw it in for 50 bucks. So, pretty hard to pass that up. So I got the starter. You can obviously see the remnants of my trailer axle where I had to replace the trailer axle on the way. But I got the starter. We put the carburetor, the potbelly carburetor back on it. It's got the air cleaner over there. And I know I tried to find, I was going to buy an intake manifold, a carb, and an air cleaner for 150 bucks just for those 3 items. Well, like I say, this was a very low mileage. This came out of I believe it came out of a 56 wagon. And it just was a car that sat and got torn apart and never got put back together. So it has low miles as they come for a Tri-5. And, you know, we just decided that, well, it was only a few miles away from my brother-in-law where we store the 55. He has a cherry picker. We used a cherry picker to get it in the truck. My brother-in-law has a cherry picker here. Let's just drop this 235 right in front of the frame rails of the 55 4-door. And next year when I come to pick the car up to take it back to my property in Montana, we'll have a core that's ready to go. I do have a 283, and I thought about doing the 283 204R overdrive automatic, but if I keep it old school and go with the gas mileage, because I do have a friend that had a 55 235 overdrive, and he said he was getting 23 to 24 miles per gallon. And, you know, that sounds like a good option. Sounds like a nice way to have a nice cruiser, put some good wheels on it, you know, and, you know, just have a beater, parts chaser, whatever you want to do. So, anyway, so this thing came home with me, as well as the Pontiac rear end. That's the sidebar. Again, thanks for watching. You could follow along this build. Tell me what you think of what I ought to do with it. And I just want to thank you guys again for watching. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and you know, hopefully we'll get a direction as to what to do with this thing. So thanks guys, appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. Take care.